Welcome to the deep dive. Look, you might need to forget what you think average August weather is, because this new meteorological assessment we're looking at for August 1st to 10th, 2025, it covers Europe, West Russia, the North Caucasus, and it's painting quite a picture. Our mission today is simple. Pull out the key insights, the really important stuff from this report, so you're properly clued in on what's coming, and maybe why.
And it's definitely giving us a heads up, a pretty strong forward-looking warning, actually. There's a high probability of widespread temperatures that are warmer than average, much warmer, which, immediately suggests a significant potential for heat waves.
Right, heat waves.
But it's not only heat. While some areas might be drier, specific regions actually face heightened risks. We're talking severe storms, hail, heavy rain, and that could lead to localized flash floods, maybe even mudslides in some spots. So yeah, real mixed bag.
Okay, let's unpack the heat first. That seems to be the big headline here. All the major forecasting systems, they're consistently signaling this widespread warming trend, right?
That's right, consistent signals. Most of Europe predicted to be much warmer than usual. And it looks like Central, Eastern, and Northern Europe might see the most significant anomalies, the biggest departures from average.
So what's driving that? What's behind such widespread warmth?
Well, what's fascinating, meteorologically speaking, is that this pattern, this distribution of warmth, it's often driven by a stronger southerly flow.
Like warm air being cold north.
Exactly. Think of it like an air pump. And it's often linked to specific pressure setups, particularly what we call a blocking high pressure system, maybe over the North Atlantic. It basically acts like a heat dome. It traps the warm air underneath and lets it build day after day.
Okay, heat dome effect.
Yeah. So for instance, a place like Moscow could see, say, 23, 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah. That's already above its August average of 22. Yeah. But maybe even more critical are regions like the North Caucasus. They could hit 35 Celsius, maybe higher. And often that comes with these dry, searing winds, which ramps up the feels like temperature. And that's what really matters for public health impacts. It makes it much more dangerous than just the number on the thermometer suggests.
Right, the human impact. Okay. Now, you mentioned a mixed bag. So precipitation. This is where it gets, really interesting, doesn't it? Because it seems like a tale of two forecasts. Central and Eastern Europe might be drier under that heat.
Generally, yes. Drier conditions often accompany those high-pressure heat domes.
But the UK Met Office forecast, it's pointing towards something different in the Northwest, a low-pressure system.
Exactly. It suggests a low-pressure system lingering over northwestern Europe. So that could mean significantly wetter conditions, especially for the far northern UK and Scandinavia. More frequent disturbances, more rain than usual there.
Okay, so warmth and dry for some, wet and stormy for others. But then there's the North Caucasus again. You mentioned a unique risk there.
Yes, a very specific and potentially severe risk involving water. Now, August there typically doesn't have many rainy days.
Okay.
But when intense rain does hit, it's combined with something else, accelerating glacial melt. Think about it. The glaciers in that region, they've retreated massively. On average, about 600 meters over the last century. They've lost something like over 11 billion tons of fresh water just since the year 2000. It's staggering.
Wow, that much ice melt.
So when you get heavy rain hitting slopes that are also releasing meltwater rapidly, well, you have a dangerously high potential for severe flash floods and mudslides, very much like that devastating event in Georgia back in August 2023. It's a potent mix.
A really dangerous combination.
Yeah.
So taking a step back, what does this all mean in the larger context? How does this snapshot for early August fit into the bigger picture? Are these just isolated weather events, or is this part of something larger?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And it brings up this idea of the shifting climate baseline. What we used to call average, maybe 20, 30 years ago, we're blowing past that much more frequently now.
So above average is becoming the new, not normal, but more frequent.
Precisely. These events aren't really isolated anymore. They are very consistent with established climate change patterns and trends. I mean, globally, there was an estimate. Something like half the world's population experienced an extra 30 days of extreme heat just in the year leading up to May 2025, heat directly attributable to climate change.
30 extra days. And then there's the urban factor too, right? The heat island effect.
Absolutely critical, especially in densely populated areas. Think about big metropolitan areas like Moscow. Again, all that concrete, asphalt, human activity. It makes cities significantly warmer than the surrounding countryside. These surfaces absorb heat all day and then radiate it back out. So heat waves become this amplified metropolis-related risk. And crucially, it prevents proper cooling at night, which our bodies really need to recover during a heat event.
Okay, so this deep dive for just these 10 days in August 2025, it really shows the immediate, tangible impacts of our changing climate across Europe, West Russia, the North Caucasus. It's clearly much more than just a simple weather forecast for a week or so.
It absolutely is. These warnings, they aren't just data points. They should serve as a critical, well, impetus for all of us to perhaps rethink our definition of normal.
Yeah.
The real challenge for you listening and for communities everywhere is to grasp that above average now frequently means unprecedented extremes, things we haven't seen before or saw very rarely. It really forces us to integrate this kind of sophisticated short-term forecasting with the long-term climate science. We need that integration to build, dynamic resilience, systemic resilience built into our societies.
So the final thought for you is maybe reflect on what normal weather means to you personally and consider just how rapidly that definition might actually be changing right now.